Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. We'll begin in 2 minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. I am your host, Fearless Floyd. And I don't know, you'd probably be disappointed if, I just did the same category day after day after day, talked about the same things day after day after day. So I like to keep it interesting, and I like to cover everything that I think maybe you should know about, be aware of. Did I bring those over here? I did not. Let me go grab those real quick. I tell you what, while I'm away daydreaming. All right, have you finished daydreaming? Good. I had to go grab a little physical evidence for you guys to show you. If you didn't catch the video I did a couple days ago on this right here, are you a U.S. national and a U.S. citizen, both at the same time? Absolutely, you are. So if you haven't watched that video, go watch it, because it segues into exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go visit the website police1.com. And if you're not familiar with that website, it's basically a website that law enforcement goes to see the latest news, latest techniques, latest legal maneuvering, whatever, training, open positions, continued learning education, on and on and on and on and on. So if you want to know how they think, what they learn, what they have access to, just go to their playbook. That's what I always did. And it has benefited me because I'll tell you why. I've always had the ability to refile my state writ of habeas corpus on my DWI. And I knew that as long as I was incarcerated, I was never going to win. So even after I got out, it's been 9 years now, a little over 9 years. I still haven't filed it because the time just wasn't right. It just didn't feel right for me. I've even been to the archives of the district clerk's office to look through my box of files. I don't know, 3 or 4 times, maybe more than that. And the time just hadn't been right. But now we have artificial intelligence, and thanks to my good buddy, Brian Robinson, Pastor of the Way, you might know him by Baxilios Nomos over on YouTube and Telegram. But he has a subscription to Westlaw. He turned me on to Westlaw, and, you know, that has AI built into it now. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, well, that's cool. So I took Chat GPT, and I upgraded to the new 5, which, and also used Grok side by side, and pretty much fed it information about my case. So one of the things about my case, and I've tried to tell everybody this, nobody wants to listen. Every felony DWI indictment that I have ever read in the state of Texas from September 1st, 1994 to August 31st, 2005 is insufficiently pled in the charging instrument and in the indictment. They did a jury trial, charged to the jury. Insufficient, doesn't meet all the elements of the offense. Now, I knew the entire time that it was a fundamental defect that originated with the template that all the prosecutors across the state adopted and used. Well, thanks to AI, I was able to target that. And guess what? I was right. I was correct. And I used to get their books from 12th Street Books in Austin, Texas. They would get an overflow from the Texas County and District Attorneys Association, and we were able to get those books for free if we were indigent inmates. So I used to get their Texas Penal Code, their Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. So basically I had their rule book, their playbook, their manual. But my penal codes never had their forms in it, because you can order a book that's just the penal code, or you can order penal code plus forms. And I didn't have that book or access to it. But I knew it. Don't ask me how, I just knew it. I knew that whoever authored that particular part of the book regarding felony DWIs, that they had created a boilerplate template that didn't cover all the elements of a third-degree felony DWI. And believe me, okay? How important are the elements of a third-degree DWI? Well, prior to September 1st, 1994, it was in the Transportation Code. And I know this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I just want to give you an update. September 1st, 1994, they transferred it to the Penal Code. Part of that was our now mayor of Houston, John Whitmire, who was the senator, basically revamped the Penal Code during that legislative session, 73rd legislative session. So, all right, they moved it from Transportation Code to the Penal Code 94, right? Okay. 95, they amended it. 99, they amended it. 2001, they amended it. 2003, they amended it. 2005, they amended it. 2007, they amended it. So you can see they skipped one legislative session, which was 1997 during that decade. So they went from 2007 to 2011. They skipped 2009. They skipped 2013, but in 2015, they amended it. 2017, they amended it. 2019, they amended it. 2023, they amended it. They've been monkeying with this third-degree felony DWI in Texas almost every legislative session. Why, Floyd? To catch more repeat DWI offenders and give them harsher sentences. Part of that was a lobbying of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It's all right here. There's the list. You can see it. There you go. That glare from the light. But this is just a long list. So guess what? I'm actually innocent, as I told everybody. That's why I have a $10,000 cash, or at the time, the Lexus that belonged to my trust. More than happy to sign it over to anybody, the title, if they can prove that I was guilty of a third-degree felony as of July 10th, 2001 in the state of Texas with all the information that's currently in my record. It's impossible to do, and I can't wait. So I'm putting it together. That's what I'm doing for this next 2 weeks. All right. Y'all ready to dive in over here to what's the story over at Police One? And I say this because, I know you guys remember these things, right? Y'all remember these plates? These are made by Max out of Vegas. And when you get it all involved in the Anna Von Wright shenanigans, they want you to get the plate and make sure they got the Z's on them. And I've yet to really comprehend exactly what the Z's do. Why this one has a shadow, this one doesn't. And yeah, so, and then from there, everybody, stepped up and upped their game, and we moved on to these, to the Diplomat private plates, right, with the DOT number. All right, well, let's go take a stroll. Find out what's the story over at Police One. So if you're not familiar with Police One, this is the website right here. Let me get rid of my ugly mug for you guys. There you go. All right, and as you see, news and analysis, product guide, careers and training, off-duty, deals and discounts, grants, deep dive, what cops want. Should we? So there you go. That's pretty much what the front page looks like, and you scroll down, and of course, here's the latest on all these cops getting shot across the country. Qualified immunity applied for officers who mistakenly shot infant human shield. That's crazy. How agentic AI enhances crime prevention, streamlines evidence collection. How police can use AI to run faster, safer wildfire evacuations. See, AI is coming, folks. Drones. It's not. It won't be long. It won't be long. I can load more, but I just wanted to show you just the front of the website to show you, if you want to go peruse this and see what they do, see what they learn, see what's available to them as far as knowledge, information, education. It's all right here. So when you see those patrol vehicles, parked, sitting in the shade, this is what they're doing. They're on their little device and they're reading, looking for better jobs, better pay. I'm pretty sure it got approved. And I'm going to tell you this with a straight face. If you want to be a constable in Harris County, Texas, the starting base pay, I hope you're sitting down. In Houston, Texas, the starting base pay for a Harris County constable, $290,000 per year. Base. That's no overtime. That's not working extra jobs. That's their base pay. More than the President of the United States of America. Absolutely. Is that not just mind-numbing? I mean, listen, I get it. They should be paid very well. But to work 5 years and basically you become a millionaire being a cop? We're all in the wrong profession then. We should all go work for the constable's office, right? So let's go take a deeper dive into Police One. Is this where I needed to be? Yeah. Oh, no. One of these I can go back. No, not that one. This one. Oh, I looked at them over there. Okay. Let me put in here. All right. So all I do is just put sovereign right here in the search results, and you're going to get this long list right here. So you can see when they publish these. So what is a sovereign citizen? Definitions, license plates, arrests, and more. Learn what a sovereign citizen is and how they use fake license plates, whether they can be arrested, and how U.S. courts view their legal defense. Again, this is from April 23rd, 2025. This is from Police One staff. What are sovereign citizens' license plates and how legal are they? Supporters of the sovereign citizen movement use these plates as a form of protest against government authority, but law enforcement views them as a legal violation. This is March 4th, 2025, and I'll get into all of these. American State Nationals, the newest group of sovereign citizens. Understanding the behavior and ideology of sovereign citizens is crucial for ensuring the safety of law enforcement officers, especially during traffic stops. July 29th, 2024. That one is by Dr. Christine Sarteshi. She is an expert in extremist groups, domestic terrorism, et cetera. September 6th, 2024, 5 common crimes committed by sovereign citizens. Law enforcement must understand the sovereign citizen movement and be able to identify specific components that make up the movement in order to protect themselves. So they're already playing the victim role, regardless. So we're going to get into all this. September 20th, 2024, 9 things to prepare for when encountering sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens fancy themselves outside the laws of the land and don't recognize the legitimacy of the U.S. government. That's by Jason Hoster. 5 responses to a sovereign citizen in a traffic stop. Sovereign citizen movement and sovereign citizen traffic stop has become the bane of many police officers in the U.S. April 15th, 2024, by Police One staff. Here's Sheriff Grady Judd over there in Polk County, Florida. Sovereign citizen shoots, wounds 2 Florida deputies before fatal officer incident shooting. I made an example out of him. Top videos of sovereign citizens getting owned by police, August 29th, 2017. And there's 23 pages if you'd like to go deeper. So we'll just go hit, this one's from 2018. So we can go hit this one. And make sure that, yep. What is a sovereign citizen? Definitions, license plates, arrests, and more. April 23rd, 2025, Police One staff. Learn what a sovereign citizen is. Excuse me. How they use fake license plates, whether they can be arrested, and how U.S. courts view their legal defense. So let's.
Sovereign citizens often claim they have the right to travel without a driver's license, citing free movement as a constitutional right. However, operating a vehicle requires licensure and compliance with traffic laws. Officers should maintain awareness of this tactic and enforce applicable laws while addressing the individual's misconceptions about their rights. Response 2: as a free person, I do not recognize your jurisdiction. Some sovereign citizens reject the authority of local laws and government, asserting their status as free persons. However, they often seek the protection and services provided by these institutions. Officers can challenge this assertion by highlighting the contradiction between their claims of freedom and their reliance on public services. Response 3: speeding is not a crime. A crime requires an injured party. Sovereign citizens may dispute traffic violations by arguing that no victim is harmed. However, they overlook the distinction between criminal and civil offenses, as well as the enforcement authority of law enforcement. Officers should clarify the legal basis for traffic enforcement and address any misunderstandings about the nature of violations. Response 4: license plate taxes do not apply to me. Some sovereign citizens display homemade license plates or refuse to comply with vehicle registration requirements, claiming exemption from taxation. However, these actions disregard the legal obligations of vehicle ownership. Officers can educate individuals on the purpose of license plate fees and the societal responsibility of maintaining public infrastructure. Response 5: am I being detained? Sovereign citizens may use this question to challenge the authority of law enforcement during a traffic stop. However, officers must assert their lawful authority to conduct investigative detentions and ensure compliance with traffic laws. Importance of vigilance. By understanding their tactics and responding appropriately, officers can uphold public safety and maintain the integrity of the law enforcement profession.
All right. In recent years, the term sovereign citizen has gained increased attention in law enforcement, legal circles, and mainstream media. Often associated with anti-government views and non-compliance with law, sovereign citizens can pose unique challenges to public safety and the legal system. This article answers common questions to help you understand who sovereign citizens are, what symbols they use, and how they interact with law enforcement. And the reason I'm reading all this to you is because, of course, I do have visually impaired subscribers, and I can't call them viewers. I have to call them listeners. Participants. There we go. I'm covering this because this is what these officers, I mean, they don't have some separate training that they go through at the police academy, or they may have something in continued learning education. I don't know. However, this is a source that they use. So everything that we're going to cover in this, that this website is teaching law enforcement, all these interactions, okay, that they call understand who sovereign citizens are, what symbols they use, and how they interact with law enforcement. So the last thing that you want to do is, be above the radar. You don't want to make yourself a target. So you don't want to create, a triggering effect. So there's steps that you're going to see here that law enforcement is educated that sovereign citizens do. So when they see, hear, or interact with this specific trigger, and we're going to go through those, they go into a whole different mode. Okay. Now they're like, oh, okay, I'm dealing with a sovereign citizen. Maybe I need to take a step back, put my hand on my gun. And that's not what you want. Okay. So please don't do that. The reason I'm doing this video is because if I could save one person from having a bad interaction with law enforcement, and that includes receiving a ticket, going to jail for resisting arrest, getting your car impounded, having additional charges tacked on, creating a major scene, insofar as having a altercation. We'll just leave it at that. There are many, 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 many ways to operate in public as a private person. Okay. And I use person to cover an individual, corporation, association, organization, union, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I do these videos, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt, trying to express their rights. Because when you're on the side of the road and you're talking to law enforcement, that's not that. Look, he's not an attorney. He doesn't have a legal background. He doesn't have a Black's Law dictionary at home or in his locker or in his car. And you're over here debating what the law is or what your rights are. No, he's just there to do one thing. Okay. Enforce policy, which is, according to him, law. He doesn't know the difference. He's never been educated. So that's not the place that you want to educate the law enforcement officer. Law enforcement officer. You want to educate him when he's in the witness stand under oath. Because then you can ask him, hey, what do you know? And he's going to not know anything. When's the last time you read the Texas Transportation Code in whole? What section is that in Vernon's, sir, ma'am? Oh, you don't know. You've never read it. You see what I'm saying? You can argue on the side of the road and you're going to lose. If you're not going to end up on the ground with a puddle of blood under your head and a bullet hole for trying to argue. No, don't do that. That's why I'm doing this video. So you guys know exactly. Act normal. Act like everybody else. They've already screwed up because what did they do? They turned on their emergency lights, right? This isn't an emergency. This is just a normal everyday traffic stop. Don't even argue why they pulled you over. Don't even argue. Best thing for you to do is just seamlessly get out of there and then go to court, show up, make your appearance, don't disappear, and act in honor. Because that's what this is all about, right? Isn't this movement supposed to be acting in honor, good faith, with clean hands? Then do it. Don't get out there with all this monkey business. Don't get out there and try to argue with people that don't have the capacity to debate you. You might find one going to law school, and then it's going to get really funky. Because they think they know it all. And then, oh boy, yeah, imagine what that's going to look like. And you start screaming for a supervisor. So let's get back over to police one, folks, and let's see what is what with those guys. What is a sovereign citizen? A sovereign citizen is an individual who believes they are not subject to government laws, courts, or authority, particularly those of the United States. Now, I'm going to automatically disagree with that because they just threw, they threw the baby out with the bathwater, what they did. because that's not true at all. Absolutely. See, this is the misinformation that they're getting. So just because you're an American state national, sovereign citizen, sovereign, whatever the hell you want to label yourself with, they're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater too, because this is the first line right there. The first freaking line, folks. Adherents reject the legitimacy of federal, state, and local governments, and they may claim to be governed only by their interpretation of common law or natural rights. I should go in and give these people an education, huh? While not part of a centralized organization, sovereign citizens often rely on a mix of pseudo-legal arguments, historical misinterpretations, and conspiracy theories. Their beliefs can manifest in actions such as refusing to pay taxes, rejecting driver's licenses, filing frivolous lawsuits, and creating counterfeit documents. Sovereign citizens often deny being sovereign citizens despite using tactics and rhetoric consistent with the ideology. They may refer to themselves as a U.S. national, a non-resident alien, non-citizen national, diplomat, American national, state national, or American state national. All right. I just showed you in my prior video that U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals and U.S. nationals are U.S. citizens. They are one in the same. There is no differentiation between the two. You can be a U.S. national born in an outlying territory of Samoa, and I forget the other one. There's only two of them. Albeit, Max did get this on his passport. So they've already classified all of that language, that vernacular, as a sovereign citizen. So right there, they got U.S. national. That's wrong. Non-citizen national. That's wrong. So they have a lot of errors in here. So they have misinformation. I don't know if it's disinformation, but it's obviously misinformation. Because see, they don't even know the law. That's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. They don't know the law. Somebody wrote this for them that did their little skim through research, and a lot of it is incorrect already. And I'm, barely into what a sovereign citizen is. So this is why you can get real screwy and sideways with law enforcement right off the bat. And the last thing you want is to get labeled and categorized right off the bat before you can even have any type of rational conversation with law enforcement. So you don't want to trigger them. Verbal common cues or phrases used among those who adhere to ideology include living man or living woman, natural woman or natural man, free person on the land, flesh and blood person, or secure party creditor. While they may use different terms to refer to themselves and even emphasize that they are different from sovereign citizens, their expressed ideology and behavior remain consistent with the broader movement. What is a sovereign citizen tag? A sovereign citizen tag typically refers to unauthorized or unofficial license plates used by individuals claiming sovereign status. These plates often look homemade and may include phrases like private or private property, non-domestic, sovereign citizen, not for commerce, exempt, or reference to fictitious republic or tribal nation. Some may even include their U.S. Department of Transportation, U.S. DOT numbers on their plates. Wow. These tags are not recognized by any U.S. state, and driving with one can result in citations, arrest, or vehicle impoundment. Law enforcement officers are trained to recognize these tags as potential indicators of non-compliance or higher risk during traffic stops. That's why I said, folks, these are targets. Okay. Would you put a target on your back and like go walk down a gun range out by the other targets? Nope. So don't put a target on your car. You want to look like every other car. Okay. You don't want to stand out and be special, because if you want to be special, they're going to treat you special for sure. Because all you got to do is see that plate and go, oh, yeah. Whoop. Light your ass up. We're going to the side of the road. And then, you've already triggered them. They don't even know who you are. And they already know what you are. They've already categorized you. They already know how to deal with you. They've already probably called for backup. All right. What is a sovereign citizen license plate? A sovereign citizen license plate is a variation of a sovereign citizen tag. It's a fabricated plate meant to replace official government issued plates. Some plates display affiliations with fictional governments, such as the Republic of Texas, or reference fringe beliefs such as maritime or admiralty law. Others may carry tribal or religious identifiers like Moorish Nation or Yahweh Nation. These plates are often used as a form of protest or attempt to evade traffic laws, registration fees, or tolls. Their use is illegal and has no legal standing in any U.S. jurisdiction. What is a Moorish sovereign citizen? Moorish sovereign citizens blend sovereign citizen ideology with beliefs drawn from the Moorish Science Temple of America, an early 20th century religious movement. Individuals in this group often identify as Moorish nationals, Moorish Americans, or members of a fictitious Moorish nation. They may claim immunity from U.S. laws based on alleged treaties between the U.S. and the Moroccan Empire. Like other sovereign citizens, Moorish adherents may engage in fraudulent filings, claim ownership of foreclosed properties, or assert diplomatic immunity. Despite religious or historical references, their legal arguments remain invalid in court. What is a sovereign citizen defense? A sovereign citizen defense is a pseudo legal strategy used by some defendants to challenge the authority of a court or dismiss charges. Common tactics include claiming the court has no jurisdiction over them, declaring themselves a natural person or secured party creditor, filing nonsensical legal documents filled with legal jargon, refusing to recognize their name as spelled in all capital letters. These defenses have no basis in law and are routinely rejected by judges. In fact, using sovereign arguments can frustrate court proceedings and may lead to contempt charges or increased sentencing. Can a sovereign citizen be arrested? Yes. Sovereign citizens can be arrested like any other individual who breaks the law. Their beliefs do not exempt them from legal consequences. In fact, attempts to resist arrest or challenge police authority using sovereign language may escalate the situation. Many sovereign citizens have been arrested for offenses ranging from traffic violations and fraud to weapons charges and even violent crimes. Law enforcement agencies are trained to handle these encounters cautiously, as some sovereign citizens have been involved in ambushes or deadly confrontations. Can a sovereign citizen get a traffic ticket? Yes. Despite their claims, sovereign citizens are not immune to traffic laws. They can be ticketed for offenses such as speeding, driving without a license, or operating an unregistered vehicle. Some sovereign citizens attempt to avoid tickets by presenting fake documents or invoking phrases like, "I do not consent," or "I am traveling, not driving." These arguments have no legal merit and typically result in additional citations or charges for obstruction or fraud. How do the courts view sovereign citizens? Federal and state courts across the country have repeatedly rejected sovereign citizen arguments as frivolous and without merit. The following cases illustrate how judges have responded to defendants who claim exemption from U.S. law based on sovereign or pseudo-legal reasoning. United States versus Jagum in 1992. If you want to go into that, you can. Bryant versus Washington Mutual Bank. United States versus Mitchell. Conclusion. Sovereign citizens represent a complex challenge for the legal system, often blurring the line between unconventional beliefs and criminal behavior. While many consider themselves peaceful, the movement has been associated with anti-government extremism and has prompted safety concerns for law enforcement and court officials. Understanding the terminology and tactics used by sovereign citizens is essential for legal professionals, first responders, and to the general public alike. Police One staff. Police One staff comprises experienced writers, editors, and law enforcement professionals dedicated to delivering trusted, timely, and actionable information and resources for public safety. As the leading source for law enforcement news, resources, and training, Police One is committed to supporting officers with expert advice, industry updates, and career development tools. From breaking news to in-depth analysis of critical topics, Police One staff provides the knowledge and insights you need to stay informed and ahead of policing. Oops. All right. I want to read you something real quick. Right after that, okay? Because if you go to your business or commerce code in your state, which if you're not in Louisiana, it was adopted from the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code. And if you go to section 7.201, 201 is going to basically tell you that a warehouse receipt can be in any form. So I could write one warehouse receipt on the back of this plate. I could write it on this binder. It doesn't matter. I can write it on a burlap sack. Okay. But it has certain requirements. That would be 7.202 or 7-202. That states that the form of a warehouse receipt need not be in any particular form, but it must have the following: the location of the warehouse facility where the goods are stored, the date issue of the receipt, the unique identification code of the receipt, a statement whether the goods received will be delivered to the bearer, to a named person, or to a named person or its order, the rate of storage and handling charges, description of the goods or packages containing them, the signature of the warehouse or its agent. If the receipt is issued for goods that the warehouse owns, either solely, gently, or jointly, or in common with others, the fact of that ownership, and a statement of the amount of advances made and liabilities incurred for which the warehouse claims a lien or a security interest. That is this little baby right here. And I did a video on this. There you go. Let me get the glare out of there. You see all these numbers? That's the list I just went down. You know, there's 6, there's 1, there's 5, there's 9. Go to page. Here's 8, here's 4, here's 2, here's 7. Absolutely. So the warehouse receipt is your judgment sentence. Your case number or cause number, that's the account number. The warehouse receipt number is your TDCJ number or prison ID number, BOP, if you go into the feds. So I just wanted to show you that this is a commercial process, okay? They masquerade it as whatever they want to call it: criminal proceedings, family, civil, operating under civil rules and procedure. But as you know, you may or may not, as far as I know, I'm the only person in the world, only person in the world that has utilized the former that's the weather. That's the weather. Depository Trust Clearing Corporation, DTCC, the GMIutility.org. I took my Texas certificate of live birth number, my social security number, and my last prison warehouse receipt number, put them all in there and came up with the identical accounts, LEIs, legal entity identifiers. I also have the Dun & Bradstreet background business report for the judiciary courts of the state of Texas, which were incorporated by the people as a for-profit corporation in 1845 as a subsidiary of the state of Texas, incorporated, established by the people in 1836. You're goddamn right I do. I have it all laid out where it's a corporation. It's a for-profit corporation. My judge has the account. I have the Dun & Bradstreet background business report for my court. So there's a lot of misinformation that they have, that they just, you're never going to get it. You got to go to court. You got to appear. That's the time you go in there and you handle yourself. You stand on your square and you get down. But remember, okay, if you bring your own toys, all this sovereign citizen bullshit, this paperwork, and think it's going to be effective playing in their sandbox with their toys, their rules, they're going to hold you accountable. And you think you were in trouble when you got there? Oh, wait till you leave. So don't go in there monkeying around. Bring their tools in there. Damn, well, that got dark quick. Glad I took care of my business. So you want to go in there and act proper, okay? With honor, integrity, good faith, and clean hands. If they don't know what the law is, well, hey, it's time for a tutorial. Stand up and be the intellectual genius you think you are. And embarrass them. Put that cop. I really wanted to tell you all this on the side of the road, but that was not the place. So I had to come in here and embarrass you because you just want to follow what everybody ever tells you to do. They tell you go write a ticket, you go write a ticket. Now, all these different organizations out there, I'm trying to get a big round table together, and they don't want to play. Everybody wants to stay and hide. They want to continue to run their little groups. They don't want to talk to anybody else. They want to stay hidden. They want to be the alpha dog in their group. They don't want to harmonize with anybody else. That's why I said this, that's why I got out of all that. Because nobody wants to play together. You all think y'all shit don't stink. So stop that. You got to stop that. Your shit don't stink. Your shit stinks just like everybody else does. And if you don't stop it and start harmonizing with people, find like-minded people and work together. Otherwise, y'all just going to spin in circles. I guarantee you. This December, I'll be doing another video on David Lester Straight and his whole Freeman bot mastermind catastrophe, just like I told everybody it was going to be soon as they announced it. Listen, folks, there's no shortcuts, okay? You're not just going to go surrender your driver's license, quit registering your vehicle, put some bullshit ass tags on your car, and go out there and play around in public and not get held accountable. It's just, nope. And what I've tried to do is get all these parties together to harmonize so we can go talk to law enforcement as one entity. But nobody wants to do that. There's so many people over in Anna Von Reitz's groups that are just trapped. They cannot leave because their life savings are all tied up in her fake ass scam bank. And they can't leave. I mean, I can't tell you how disheartening it is when I have one of her people call me and go, Floyd, man, what do I do? I'm living in my car. I don't have anything left. I gave them every penny and I can't get a penny back. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody just really got to the point where they don't have anything, nothing left to lose, living on the streets. They don't just drive to Alaska and take care of business. That would not surprise me at the least, as much money as that woman has scammed. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about sovereign citizens and American state nationals and all this other mumbo jumbo that law enforcement is learning and being miseducated. I don't know if they're on purpose or what, but it is what it is, right? So we went through that. Let's go dive into the one article on the license plates. Oh, wrong one. This is right here from March 4th, 2025. What are sovereign citizen license plates and how legal are they? Supporters of the sovereign citizen movement, and you can replace ASN for that, use these plates as a form of protest against government authority. And that's not the whole reason that they use them. It's not a protest. It's because we know, all right, we know for a fact that our state governments, our county governments, our city governments, our town governments, our municipalities, and our federal government are all corporations. They're for-profit corporations. They're juvenile, delinquent, parasitic bullies that feed off the people. We're slaves in a free society. So it's not that we're protesting anything. We were protesting, we'd like be, sending our plates back. That's a protest. Protest is you're in front of the DMV, in front of DPS. Supporters of the sovereign citizen use the authority, but law enforcement views them as a legal violation. And here's some private postmaster. This is from 2010, Columbus, Ohio. These belong to James T. McBride, a member of the sovereign citizen movement, owns the vehicles and claims he doesn't have to register them because the U.S. government has no authority over citizens. Sovereign citizen license plates are unofficial, self-created plates used by individuals who believe they are not subject to government regulations. These plates often feature phrases like private property or sovereign citizen and may resemble legitimate state-issued plates, but they are not legally recognized anywhere in the United States. Actually, let me show y'all guys something. When I was in Plano, I was talking to some people in the Republic of Texas, and I was showing them the new temporary plate, and they were like, oh, we got paper plates. They don't have metal tags for temporary tags. I was like, yeah, they do. They're red. And I showed them the picture, and I saw this one today. So there's a different one. This one's blue for some reason. And it says dealer temporary limited use plate, January 2027. I don't know. This was on a Subaru. I don't know. I don't know how long they're good for. I don't know anything about them. I mean, I could probably call the plant manager at the John M. Wynn unit in Huntsville and ask him, because he's the one that supervises them. Here's the temporary tag, the other one, the red one. Law enforcement officers frequently stop vehicles displaying these plates, as driving without proper registration is illegal and can result in fines, vehicle impoundment, or arrest. Despite their lack of legality, sovereign citizen license plates continue to appear on roads, often leading to confrontations with authorities. What is a sovereign citizen? While sovereign citizens can identify themselves differently and hold varying beliefs, most profess that federal, state, or municipal governments are illegitimate and unqualified to enforce laws. According to the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, and garbage, in my opinion, those who profess sovereign citizen ideologies may refer to themselves as state citizens, constitutionalists, or American state nationals. Law enforcement officers can often identify sovereign citizens by a label on their license plates, which are often entirely fraudulent. 9 things to prepare for when encountering a sovereign citizen. I'm going to go up and watch this one. What is a sovereign citizen license plate? The artificial plates utilized by many sovereign citizens often read private or freeman. They are presumably intended to indicate to law enforcement officers that they believe they are not subject to some or all vehicle regulations or traffic laws. These plates are almost always illegal and can be bought online. WCNC reported. I don't know what that is. North Carolina something. When stopped, sovereigns are often verbally combative, which can escalate to physical resistance. You see what I'm saying? So they, right here, they're waiting for you to start arguing, and then it's going to get physical. Let's get physical, right? Let's watch this. 5 responses to sovereign citizens at traffic stops. Yeah, if I can get it to play. Oh, I think we already played, right? Oh, no. Here we go.
Sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens are individuals who reject government authority and refuse to follow laws, often leading to confrontations during traffic stops. While many are basically law-abiding citizens, some individuals within this movement may resort to violence or disruptive tactics during interactions with police. Here is a list of effective responses in common situations. Response 1, I am not driving, I am traveling. Sovereign citizens often claim they have the right to travel without a driver's license, citing free movement as a constitutional right. However, operating a vehicle requires licensure and compliance with traffic laws. Officers should maintain awareness of this tactic and enforce applicable laws while addressing the individual's misconceptions about their rights. Response 2, as a free person, I do not recognize your jurisdiction. Some sovereign citizens reject the authority of local laws and government, asserting their status as free persons. However, they often seek the protection and services provided by these institutions. Officers can challenge this assertion by highlighting the contradiction between their claims of freedom and their reliance on public services. Response 3, speeding is not a crime requires an injured party. Sovereign citizens may dispute traffic violations by arguing that no victim is harmed. However, they overlook the distinction between criminal and civil offenses, as well as the enforcement authority of law enforcement. Officers should clarify the legal basis for traffic enforcement and address any misunderstandings about the nature of violations. Response 4, license plate taxes do not apply to me. Some sovereign citizens display homemade license plates or refuse to comply with vehicle registration requirements, claiming exemption from taxation. However, these actions disregard the legal obligations of vehicle ownership. Officers can educate individuals on the purpose of license plate fees and the societal responsibility of maintaining public infrastructure. Response 5, am I being detained? Sovereign citizens may use this question to challenge the authority of law enforcement during a traffic stop. However, officers must assert their lawful authority to conduct investigative detentions and ensure compliance with traffic laws. Importance of vigilance. By understanding their tactics and responding appropriately, officers can uphold public safety and maintain the integrity of the law enforcement profession.
Are sovereign citizen license plates legal? All drivers in the U.S. are required to carry valid driver's license, and all vehicles are required to have valid license plates and vehicle registrations. They can only be obtained through the driver's home state. Any homemade plate or plate bought through an online retailer does not satisfy road regulations. Some states also prohibit license plate frames or any decoration that obscures any part of the legal license plate. What do sovereign citizen license plates look like? Plates utilized by sovereign citizens typically look distinct from legal plates as they lack the state-specific decals and imagery. Some common plates read private, exempt, or traveler. Most are black and white, with some of the more famous plates sporting a Planet Earth logo with the words "Peace on Earth, Goodwill Towards Men."
Ever seen a license plate like this while driving? Reddit users in the Charlotte area have been wondering what it means and why someone would use this plate. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg is getting the facts in today's Verify.
Well, this Reddit post has more than 150 shares and comments. The poster asked, has anyone seen this, and does anyone know why someone would use this? But we wanted to take it a step further and also ask if it's legal. So let's verify. Our sources, attorney Gary Monty, North Carolina Law, Matthews Police PIO Tim Aycock, the DMV, and the UNC School of Government. The plate reads private and has an Earth sign on it. When we Googled this, it brought us to Amazon. You can see this license plate for sale is very similar to the one in the picture. On Amazon, it's called a sovereign citizen license plate. The plate also states on it, no driver's license or insurance required, and not for commerce use or private mode of travel. So what is a sovereign citizen? The UNC School of Government states it's a catch-all phrase referring to a variety of anti-government people and groups. They adhere to a view that the existing American government structure, including court and law enforcement, is illegitimate, and they retain individual common law exempting them from the authority of government institutions. The UNC School of Government says it's common for someone who considers themselves a sovereign citizen to issue their own driver's license and vehicle tags. But is it legal to drive with one of these license plates?
You have to have an active license tag with current registration on your car, or else you're going to get in more trouble than for obscuring the tag. That'll be a bigger ticket.
North Carolina law also states you cannot cover up or obscure your registration or license plate, or else you could get a ticket.
You're supposed to have your tag properly displayed, and that would not be a proper display of the tag.
In an email, Officer Aycock told us, no, these plates are not legal. Plates would have to be state issued. The DMV gives a list of alternative plates that are allowed, but this plate is not on the list. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
And if you have something you would like verified, just email us at verify.
How do sovereign citizens get their specialized license plates? Plates are available for sale at online retailers like Amazon. Some plates can also be homemade due to their simplicity and lack of legal identification. Can police stop you for having a sovereign citizen license plate? Yes, officers in most jurisdictions can stop drivers for any vehicle infraction, including invalid or missing license plates. Some departments have policies preventing any traffic stop for minor traffic infractions in order to limit pretextual stops. In specific settings, these policies could prevent officers from stopping sovereign citizens exclusively because of an illegal plate. Again, this is by Police One staff. And I went through that one. Let's see. Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me go find that for you guys. We'll dive over here real quick to Dr. Sarteshi's article, because everybody should read this one right here. And I've done multiple videos on this particular article. American State Nationals, the newest group of sovereign citizens. Understanding the behavior and ideology of sovereign citizens is crucial for ensuring the safety of law enforcement officers, especially during traffic stops. Again, by Dr. Christine Sarteshi. And you can read all this if you'd like. I'm not going to read all this for you. Most of it I've already stated in this. But they estimate between 100,000 to 300,000 sovereign citizens, which include U.S. nationals, American state nationals, state nationals. I have a thunderstorm right now, so obviously with some lightning, if I lose my stream, that would be the reason. So American State Nationals are a growing group of the United States and Canada. The group's leaders conduct monthly seminars across the United States to instruct followers on becoming American State Nationals. Recently, they expanded their teaching to include freedom coaches in all 50 states who now host their own ASN seminars. The Freedom Bundle. Where have we heard that term before? Who sells the Freedom Bundle? Definitely not the Fearless Floyd show. Bet your ass on that. Passports coming to a traffic stop near you. Leaders of the ASN teach that acquiring a U.S. passport is one of the steps to becoming an ASN. They instruct followers to apply for a non-citizen national passport, which they believe officially recognize their status as ASNs by the U.S. Department of State. They also believe that the passport holder has been placed on a special do not detain, do not interrogate list. As a special bonus, the passport holder now has a concealed weapon permit valid in all 50 states that cannot be revoked. However, there is no evidence to support these claims. Here it talks about Chase Allen, who was executed on the side of the road, mainly because of his family. If y'all want to see what this looks like, here we go.
Davis, Fox 21. We're pulling into the post office parking lot.
This was last Wednesday in Farmington when an officer noticed that blue BMW didn't have an official license plate and started to pull the driver over.
Police, reason for the stop today is there's no registration on your vehicle.
The driver, Chase Allen, wouldn't identify himself to the officer or give any vehicle registration.
I don't need registration and I don't answer questions.
This went on a few times.
Are you going to provide me your identification?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, so I'm going to take that as a no, that you're not going to provide me your identification.
Eventually, Allen gave the officer a passport that identified him as Chase Allen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chase Allen.
That is not me. That is a piece of plastic paper.
So you have a fraudulent passport?
No.
The officer then told Allen to get out of the car.
Okay, step out of the car for me.
No.
And when he didn't, another officer started trying to get him out.
That escalation of force from verbal to hands-on, in my opinion, was absolutely reasonable and appropriate.
Officers noticed Allen move his cell phone from one hand to the other and move his other hand in the direction of the gun in a holster on his hip.
Gun.
5 officers shot at Allen several times. They tried helping him with first aid after the shooting, but he died. Officers found the gun on the floor of the car.
I say it's just a tragic ending to what started out as an everyday traffic stop. The proverbial routine traffic stop ended in tragedy.
Hold on. A routine traffic stop, okay? So let's go look at what they consider a routine traffic stop, right? Let me back that shit up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's one over there too. So looks like 6, 7 officers. Routine traffic stop. 1, 2, 3. Obviously, there's one on the other side trying to get in. This is a routine traffic stop, folks. Just routine. Nothing to see here. ASNs view police officers as policy enforcement agents tasked with arresting code breakers. This perspective aligns with the belief common among sovereign citizen ideology that law enforcement officials serve the corporation of the United States. Well, they do. You can't sit here and tell me any other way because I'm going to put fact evidence in front of you. That's why you need to go to court. You want to debate? Debate. You want to argue? You can argue. That's what you're there for, right? And who is the arbitrator? Supposedly the impartial judge, but of course you're blindsided because everybody in the courtroom except you, and if you were dumb enough to get an attorney, they're all being paid by the same dang people. Their checks come from the same account. The judge, Harris County. Prosecutor, Harris County. The clerk, Harris County. Court coordinator, Harris County. Huh. The bailiff, Harris County. How the hell are you going to get any win in there? Everybody's on the same team except you. That sounds like some due process to me. Let's go get some of that, huh? Right? Throw some little sprinkles on top. A leader of the group markets binder materials for $1.99, which includes a right to travel documents. Now, I know Bad Wolf's doing a live, same time I am. We didn't plan that, believe me. I know he punched out a bunch of videos, but this one was supposed to be for yesterday at 8. Sorry, I was a little ill yesterday. Didn't quite make it. And James is over there. He's been chasing the whole right to travel thing. And they are having some successes. And they even have some law enforcement over there that have seen the light of day. If an ASN receives a ticket from a law enforcement official, they are advised to rescind the ticket within 72 hours. This rescission can be attempted either by visiting the police department in person or by mailing a ticket back to the police department with a specific phrase written across it, 45-degree angle in red ink. Those phrases include 72-hour right of rescission. Your offer to contract with me is not accepted. While traveling in private, I provided a passport, not a license, Title 18, Section 241 and 242. Recommendations for law enforcement when encountering sovereign citizens. There you go. You can go read. There's 5 responses, which we covered already. Some of the trigger words. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. This is a personal conveyance, not a car, not an automobile. So when you try to argue or express these things, these terms, this ideology that they've just thrown a blanket over, okay, it's all under one umbrella. Doesn't matter whether you're a Moore, the Republic of Texas, in an assembly, not an assembly, or just a U.S. national, whatever. There you go. In more extreme cases, these encounters have escalated to violence against law enforcement officers, including being dragged by vehicles, biting off fingers, and tragically, the killing of officers. This pattern of behavior underscores the profound challenges and dangers law enforcement faces when engaging with individuals who identify with the sovereign citizen movement. So I don't know who in the sovereign citizen movement, American state national movement, whatever the movement you want to call it, told people that the side of the road or in a law enforcement encounter with you in the front seat of your car, or even in the passenger or the back seat, wherever you are in the vehicle, that's the time to argue and debate with law enforcement about what the law is or what the Constitution states or what your rights really are or who you are. Because it's fundamentally flawed. That's a setup. These plates, these are setups. There's so many different ways to move around in public privately. Yet people want to adopt this stupid ass ideology that's already been, gasoline's been poured on it, as you see. So don't get out there with all these trigger words and trigger shit on, and then put a target on your car and go, hey, look at me, I'm private. Yeah, nah, 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 nah. I didn't go pay my $52.50 to get my new registration tags this year. Oh, you suckers. Meanwhile, you're getting pulled over and get executed on the side of the road because you wanted to fucking argue. I mean, it just makes no sense. So that's what's going on over at police1.com. As I always do, I think 2 years ago, I reached out to Dr. Sarteshi to try to get her to come on the show. She declined. I reached out to her again when I wanted to do this roundtable discussion because I thought, oh, well, who better than to debate somebody on the other side than somebody on the other side? And I'm real anxious to see who steps up. Destry Payne, you're going to step up. Anna Von Reitz, you're going to step up. All the people over in these jural assemblies, y'all going to step up. I can't call out the Republic of Texas because they've already stepped up. And I sent this to multiple people, the movers and shakers, to come to a round table to have a discussion. Even Scott McKay with Tactical Civics. Absolutely. He's got his little group of counties. It's the same thing, same principle. Everybody wants the same damn thing. We all know what the hell's going on. We all know about the big fakery, okay? And don't think Trump's going to come in here and save the day because that's a whole nother subject. Don't get me on it because artificial intelligence is the new world order. AI, an all-seeing capital I, it's on top of the pyramid, right? That's the new world order, isn't it? Illuminati? AI. They've been telling you all along. What's up, baby girl? I'll come play with you here in a second. So that's what you got. And I got some comments over here. Let me come tell everybody hello. I want to welcome our newest member, Gabrielle Chanel L. Welcome to the show. An attractive young woman there. Charles Stewart. Good to see your show here. You would not believe this, but I just ran across all your stuff while I was digging in for the roundtable discussion participants. Yeah, listen, I've never been in this to get a million views or gazillion subscribers or to make a bunch of money. That's never what I've been in it for. This, for me, has been an education, experience, learn from my mistakes, learn from others' mistakes, and try to find out what the real truth is. That's all I'm searching for, is the truth. People are doing all these processes. And they're still out there pounding these processes, and they're still listening to these people, and they're still in their little groups. Proof of success with a proof of concept. If you don't have either one of those, you don't have anything. I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to hear it. Just wasting my time, money, and energy. Are there one-offs out there? Oh, yeah. There's plenty of one-offs. Is there somebody who ever got a car with a 1099A? Probably. Did they come out here on Front Street and parade that? I haven't seen it. All right. So do nothing. Let them creep screwing you over and stealing your money. Got it. No, I never said that at all. Well, I said don't be stupid. Because remember, these people have guns, handcuffs, badges, jails, courts, district attorneys, judges, and prisons. And they don't have a problem taking your shit, throwing you away, and let you sort it out later. After you've been in jail for a month and, you know, your cat died, your dog died, your apartment's gone, all your shit's gone, car got repossessed because you didn't handle yourself right. Is it worth it? Listen, put here, reset the router. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Where you at? Here, reset the router. Nope. Kill that. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. I can't even see over here to get that off the screen. But anyway, no, listen. In my opinion, if it costs $20 to renew your license every year, it costs you $50 to $75. So let's just round that off to an even 100, okay, for your registration and driver's license every year. Is it worth $100 to you to not get harassed on the side of the road? Just imagine if you're just sitting at a light and you get rear-ended and you get in an accident and boom, you don't have a driver's license, your car You're obeying the law. Boom, you get entangled in a mess. Now the cops show up. Now you got to deal with all that crap. $200 to have peace of mind. Okay. Put your vehicle in your trust. Don't put it in your name. If you want to get a driver's license the right way, well, there's a process you can do to do that. But you have to do everything in steps and do it the right way. And most people aren't doing anything the right way. They're just doing shit. And I've been guilty of that. You know, I got two hands up. So don't think I'm like throwing rocks in a glass house. Mr. Menace, 28 CFR 2910, an owner may withdraw from the program anytime, completely removing the program decal, changing the license plate if necessary. Again, is that the debate you want to have on the side of the road? No. Because the person you're arguing with, man, you don't know what kind of day they had. You don't know what kind of night they had. Your wife might have left them last night. And guess what? You're going to suffer the consequences. You want to start arguing with them, and they don't want to hear nothing out of nobody. It's a high-stress position to begin with. And then, boom, you're going to just do nothing but trigger them. One, they see the sovereign citizen license plate, American State National, DOT, private, whatever the hell. Then they come over to the window and you've got it this rolled down this much. They ask you for your license and insurance and registration if you're in that jurisdiction, and you hand them a passport card. And then they ask you a question. You say, I don't answer questions. So you just hit them with 3 triggers. So you just triggered them. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Why don't you just like pull out a hammer and hit them upside the head to get their attention? Because that's what you're doing. So right, wrong, indifferent, constitutional, unconstitutional, ethical, unethical, moral, immoral, side of the road is not the place to argue law. You argue law in court. Take your lick, go to court, whoop their ass. Make it where the prosecutor walks up to you after the court appearance, says, here's my card. Don't come back. You get a ticket, you call me. I'll take care of it. Because they don't want you in there teaching people. Last thing they want is an educated public. They want you dumbed down, programmed, institutionalized, miseducated, relying on AI because you can't think for yourself. That's what they want. So don't be that person. If you want to play with these folks, okay, because they don't play fair. They don't even play by their own rules. So you got to go in there and be on your toes and know what the rules are. So when they get outside the rules, guess what you can do? You can pull out the rule book and go, I'll be damned. Not going to happen here. It's just a lawful court. And guess what? The first time you go in there for a speeding ticket and you get steamrolled in your little jury trial, it was probably worth it to you to pay whatever it is to go through that experience to learn. So next time you can be even better. So maybe by the second, third time, depends on your own acumen and how well you want to read and how you can handle yourself under pressure. You may just go in there and whoop their freaking ass. And when you do it consistently, it's like, oh yeah, stay home. We don't want you. The video B-roll was filmed in Salt Lake. They blew Chase Allen away and from Utah 30 miles north. Board cops with trigger finger mentality. Oh, probably. You know, I don't know the circumstances behind that. But I know we had 2 shootings here in Harris County, a Moore and a sovereign citizen. Both of them deceased, DOA. Absolutely. what's the topic for the roundtable? Basically, why is your entity, it could be a PMA, assembly, drill assembly, why is yours so special that it has to be a standalone? Why can't, why can't Destry's Payne's assembly people merge with Anna von Reitz's assembly people, merge with the PMAs, Scott McKay's Tactical Civics, the Republic of Texas? I mean, are we just dealing with a bunch of narcissistic, egotistical megalomaniacs that just want penultimate control over their little cult? Or are they humble enough, humanitarian enough to surrender that over to who? The people, right? Isn't that what it's all about? I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. I'm serious. I mean, I've been doing this. When did I get involved in this shit? 2019? So for at least 5 years, 5 freaking years, okay? Not one of those entities has stood up on its own and operated self-sufficiently as an autonomous entity, state, county, whatever. Nobody has any authority. The de facto government, the for-profit corporations, they're still in charge. They're still running things, and they're going to continue to run things. That's why I said, you want to change things? Go run for office. Go run for sheriff. Go run for mayor. Go run for county judge. Get a superior position or find somebody, get in there. And once they're in there, then you can go change everything. But you got to get in there. I did the whole Democratic platform. I had the book in prison. The political progressive, I don't know. I just moved it into the garage. The entire book told you exactly how they did it. That's how they've taken over all the big cities in the state of Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, El Paso, Corpus Christi, San Antonio. Those are all blue cities. Blue, 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 blue. In a red state. Can't really call it a red state because we have some. If you're a Republican in the state of Texas, you should be embarrassed. I mean, when you look at a mirror, you should just bow your head in shame. I only know of one Republican in the Texas legislature who's even trying to do the right thing. Brian out of Waxahachie. Everybody else, they're the same thing. Republican, Democrat, they're the same party. They're all buddies. They're all friends. They just get on TV and bump. We're arguing. We don't like each other. Oh, no. We want it this way. We want it this way. Meanwhile, they're partying balls together. They're taking shrimps, junkets. Absolutely. So basically, that's what the topic of the roundtable is why can't these people harmonize? What makes you so special? Why do you have to be standalone? Why can't you absorb these other people in there? Why can't you just merge? And I understand the whole Anna von Reitz thing because she's over there running the biggest scam in the frickin' world. The fiduciary of the United States of America, but her bank's in Switzerland. She's routing it through an alleged financial services company here at where's that card at? I got that clown's card somewhere. I'll have to find it again. Yeah, I got it somewhere. Wealth manager, JP Morgan Chase. But anyway, yeah, there you go. So it's that's what the roundtable is supposed to be about. I'm not going to be a participant. I was just going to set everything up and run it as a producer and director. Corey was going to facilitate it. Facts don't trigger them. Their facts and your facts could be different. Regardless of whether you're right or wrong, the side of the road, law enforcement, even if it's not on the side of the road, okay? If you get swatted or cops come to your door or cops are around your community, you don't want to trigger them. Why? Why would you use all this sovereign citizen ideology that I just showed you that they're trained to recognize? That, you know, once you hear 2 or 3 of them, boom, you're triggered. You know what's in front of you. You know, it's just like, you know, they pull over somebody and, you know, listen, we've all been into Walmart, right? You've all seen the meth head tweakers because, you know, they're all kind of walking funny and twitchy and, you know, they're a little off. Well, you know, those are triggers. That cop sees all that and he knows, hey, that's probably a meth head. They probably have a Pilo, little straight shooter. They probably got some meth, probably something else. So, can I search your car? That's how that works. A lesson in civic duty is important. It is. My 28 CFR 29.10 comment wasn't to argue with cops about it. It was in reference to the Police One website saying it's illegal to not have radio. Not debating you in any form or fashion, you know. And this is what you do when you get to court. That's your time to clown the cop. So I don't know if you remembered it, but back when I was growing up, they used to have these water tanks and, you know, they'd have somebody sitting on this little stool above the tank and you threw a softball or a baseball trying to hit this little target. And if you hit the target, they went underwater. That kind of thing. Obeying laws, respecting and adhering to the rules and regulations established by the government. You know what they say in AA? Fake it till you make it. There you go. It's the same principle, man. Fake it till you make it. Okay. Fake it till you get to the right place. Once you get in the right place, then you can do whatever the hell you want to do. I just don't want to see anybody be a victim. Okay. I don't want to see anybody get shot on the side of the road. I don't want to see anybody going to jail for stupid ideological reasons. I don't want your car to get impounded. I don't want you to go to jail and then have trumped up charges of resisting arrest or, you know, whatever else they can think of to throw at you. Could be rolling dirty. Who the hell knows? You don't know what that means. That means you're riding with contraband, whether illegal firearm, drugs, whatever. Last thing you want to do is make an example of yourself on the side of the road. I do have some shows coming up. I will be doing part 20 live with Ann LaFleur. And I'm going to do a real quickie short here in a minute on, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but the truck driver from California who was in Florida, where he got a CDL, I have no idea, but decided he was going to do a U-turn in the middle of the freeway, and a family of 3 in an SUV plowed right underneath his tractor trailer. All were pronounced dead on the scene. But let me tell you, folks, that happened in Texas. Absolutely. And I'm going to do a video on that. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something. Hope you educated this. If you're in assembly, play this video for your assembly for the next meeting and show everybody, hey, look, man, just don't do this stuff, okay? Act right. If you'd like to participate in the roundtable discussion, please email me at thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. My Telegram is now open to the public. You can now copy and paste and share. So if you want to go to my Telegram, I am The Fearless Floyd Show across every social media platform. So come over there and hang out. I always post some interesting stuff, especially about AI and robotics, what's coming. So you're going to see a much more material over in my Telegram than you will on Rumble, social, or YouTube, even Facebook. Doesn't look like there's any questions. If you need a trust book, y'all know where to go. Go to my website, On Trusts, Specialty Trusts. If you're in the DFW area, those books are available at Sky Pony Gallery. You can go there and pick them up from Kiki and Doug. 200-year plan is available on Amazon. I'll have Noel on soon for the next till the end of the month. I'm strictly working on my writ of habeas corpus, and then when I get topics for some of these videos, I'll do one here and there. I like to do these videos because it takes my mind off focusing on my writ, because it's so complicated, all the different stuff. Because my arresting officer got fired, my trial attorney got disbarred, the other expert witness cop, he passed away. And I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. So I can't wait. I'm going to have fun putting this thing together. It was miserable putting my original habeas corpus together, but this one I'm going to have fun doing. Actually, that's what I was doing all day, clean up my old formal dining room and getting it ready so I can start spreading out the documents, getting my writ together, getting my exhibits together, and then have my findings of fact, conclusions of law, and all my subpoenas, everything ready to go. So when I walk into court, pow, let's roll, baby. We got 35 days to make this happen. Absolutely. So thank you again, everybody, for watching, paying attention. I hope you learned something. I do have an outro coming up. So stay tuned for that. And y'all know what to do on the way out the door. If you want, be sure and like, subscribe, share the video, hit that notification bell so when I do, put some upcoming videos, y'all will know about it. I was supposed to interview James Rink today. I still may be able to do that. If not, I don't know when we're going to reschedule, but it is what it is. So look forward to having him on soon. If y'all don't know who James Rink is, that would be the super soldier. You can go to his website, supersoldieractivationconference.com, which will be held in October, I think the second week of October in Orlando, Florida. Noel Benoit will be a preeminent speaker there as well. I imagine I will be there. So look forward to doing that. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good night. If I don't talk to you for the rest of the week, y'all have a safe and happy week, and I'll catch you when I catch. Thank you for hanging around after the show. I want to present to you Tailor Made Trust, featuring Ann LaFleur's Trust Series, available at tailormadetrust.com, as well as thefearlessfloydshow.com store. Here are a handful of the available trusts that can be built, custom tailored to your needs and desires. 25 different trusts, plus the DNA Trust Addendum. And as always, Ann LaFleur's classic trusts and ancillary classes, and also Ann's books. On Trust and Specialty Trust, which I also co-authored. If you'd like to get a class, a book, or have a trust custom built for you, always available at the fearlessfloydshow.com store. And I'll see you in the next show. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.